So in this chapter, I really want to have a little chat about the products that are available and let you know a little bit about what's going on with floral foam. So when I was doing my research, when I was doing the Cambridge University Sustainable Management course, I sort of started looking into our lovely floral foam and found out that actually the microplastics, that was the one thing that concerned me. You know, when we soak it and we see all those little plastic granules at the bottom of the bucket, they shouldn't really be going down the drain. And I was thinking, well, how are we going to stop them? So, I mean, the only thing we can do is put some cloth over the bucket when we drain it out and try and capture as many of those as we can and then dispose of them in landfill. So that's one thing. Obviously, it is a plastic-based product and it's a single-use plastic base. So if we can start moving away from this, the better. I know it's cheap and I know it's easy to use and I know it does an amazing job for our flowers. But if we can start shifting our buying power into different products, then the manufacturers will eventually look at, you know, spend more money looking at more stuff to bring it in and give us rather than this. So moving on, let's have a look at, we've got the Smither Oasis Fibre Floral and also we've got the Agrawall. The difference between the two, one of them, so the fibre can actually only go into landfill and the Agrawall can actually be compostable, and I think the reason they're both made of basalt rock, so they're like a wool, the basalt rock is whisked up into like a wool mix and then a binder's put in. I think the difference between the two products is the binder. I think the binder in the Agrawall can be compostable or has been authorised as being compostable. I'm not sure if it's been authorised or not, but they say it is. So that's the difference between the two. I actually do like using this. I found the best way to use it is put the flowers in first, which actually becomes a little bit more cost effective. It's a whole upside down way of how we normally do things. You know, we foliage up, put the flowers in, but putting the flowers in and making the shape with the flowers, I found I certainly use a lot less foliage. I think it holds up really well. Obviously some stems don't like it, but when you put the flowers in first, they seem to grip a lot better and it doesn't crumble so much. So I would say persevere with this one because I think out of the other things that are on the market, it's probably the go-to. It's not that expensive. So then moving on to the more natural products. So we've got Sphagnum Moss. This is cultivated on peat bogs. You need to buy it commercially so that it's sustainably sourced, although it takes 6 years to grow. The UK are looking at, I was watching something on YouTube the other day to say that the UK are looking at how they can farm this, maybe not using peat bogs, but recreating that peat bog atmosphere. As far as I could work out, that's what they were doing. So that would be interesting to see how that development goes, because that would obviously a lot more user-friendly than using something off a peat bog. But what I like about this is I feel you can reuse it as long as you let it dry out. I tried reusing it and keeping it moist and it just really stunk. But I've let it dry out and then re-soaked it and I could reuse it again. So it's been in the floristry world for a long time, and what's great about it, it is like a sponge. And I think I've always found stems love it. They hold up really well in there. Moving on, obviously, we've got the play sand. Play sand actually isn't a sand off the beach. It is a commercial sand that's been ground and pummeled together to make a very round shaped sand that's soft to use, so there's no hard bits in there. I find that flowers hold up really well in this as well. I tend to like to make it when it's slightly damp and then I top it up with water a little bit. But I found the flowers can last 3 weeks sometimes, some of the flowers I've used in there. So I like that. The new product on the market, the Terra Brick. Well, I have to say I haven't made friends with this one. It's made of like a cocoa fibre. I soaked it as instructed, and there's holes in the bottom, so it came straight out the bottom, which I didn't realise, onto my foot. It doesn't seem to take up a lot of water. It's not very moist. And I started to put the flowers in, and after 20, it started to crumble. So put that in a pot to use, but then why bother when you can use this or that in the pot? So, and it's really expensive. So I like the fact that we've got new developments coming out, but I think they need to be refined for us to use them, and obviously the price needs to come down. Got the bio trays. These are great. This is a great invention. This, biodegrades. And what Smithers Oasis were telling me is that they're going to make lots of different shapes so that we can put stuff in there, tip them out, and they can be composted. So that is really great news. And the more feedback you give, if there's certainly shapes you want, then they'll be very open to hearing what you like. The plastic, we can use plastic, but the secret with the plastic is to reuse it. So if you can get your customers to return the plastic, not just put it in the recycle bin, I don't even know if they can recycle this plastic, or it has to go into the landfill. But if they can bring it back, if you encourage people to bring back the plastic and reuse it, that is perfect. And then finally, we got this ocean pack, which you would have seen in Tracy's video. I thought it was a great product in respect, it seems to soak up a lot of water, and the stems went in really well and held up. This is in a bio tray underneath here, and it's held up really well. This is day 2. They say it only lasts for 1 day, so good for event work or funeral work. This is day 2, and they're not holding up too bad. I thought they were going to look worse when I came in this morning, but it's a shame because considering it feels really wet, why aren't the flowers taking up moisture? And I just wonder whether because it's inside this sort of bio bag, it's this stuff, whether that's too airy and it's not gripping the flowers and surrounding the bottom of the stems with moisture. That's the only thing I can think. The other problem is it's really super expensive. So again, hopefully this technology is going to catch up, get really cheap, and we can use it. So I have attached some more reading for you if you want to know more. We've got the lovely Rita from Australia, who is running the Sustainable Floristry Network. She supplied us with a post that she put out about floral foam, so you can learn all about that if you want to read more. And also Smithers Oasis, I've been talking to them about their products, and a lovely Stephanie from Smithers has actually sent me a sheet telling you all the sort of the biodegradable stuff and the eco-friendly products that they're producing. So there's a couple of attachments at the bottom that you can open up and read more if you want to.